We talk about the end of time sign, the coming of the Mahdi sign, right? This sign is one of the biggest signs of the coming of the Mahdi, end of time, Dajjal, Yajuj and Majuj. Before I mention you this sign, it is important for me to give you some background, some other signs that we talk about before I tell you this particular sign, because this sign is happening right now. Wallahi, this sign is happening right now. A lot of us, we are not aware of that. But before I talk about this particular sign, I want to tell you a few things. Number one, when we talk about the end of time, we talk about signs. For example, we say لا تقم الساعة حتى يمطر الناس مطرا عما ولن تموت الأرض شيئا, right? We say that one of the signs is that there will be plenty of rain, but there is no produce from that rain. Nothing will grow from that rain on land. We also see signs of the end of time. لا تقم الساعة حتى يخرج رجل من كهتان. A man will appear, a rajul, man will appear from Kahatan. We also talk about the sign يذهب الربا, that riba will increase, and then zina will increase, and a lot of other bad things will happen. We also talk about the sign when it comes to the end of time, Al-Quds, Jerusalem will be taken over, and Muslims will not be able to have any control or have any say. Umranu Baytul Maqdis, that hadith we talk about, right? So these are all signs, and they're very, very solid. And also we talk about the end of time. Before the coming of the Mahdi, we say, at least what I say all the time, is that there will be WW3 taking place. And these are all alamat. And also, we also know that we are living in the Dajjalic system. This is the time when we see the system is run by the Dajjalic system and the Antichrist. So these are all signs that we're very close to the end of time. And perhaps none of these signs were so prevalent before our time. In the past, it was just maybe here and there, a few things were happening here and there, but that's it. But today, these signs are appearing with a lot of significance, and these signs are so obvious that nobody can ignore them, nobody can overlook them. But the sign that I want to talk to you guys about, inshallah, is something that will wallahi blow your mind away. And I'm sure a lot of you know about this sign, but we are not completely aware of what is exactly happening. Before I tell you what the sign is, I want to give you a few facts. Okay, this is what we found out. June 7, 2019, Egypt's economy, there was a report that was published on Economy Journal. It says that Egypt's economy, their economy is not booming, it is collapsing. Abdul Fattah Sisi has sold his country, quote unquote, as an investment destination with the IMF's help. But the living standards of the ordinary Egyptians are plummeting as elites line their pocket. Okay, they are becoming rich. The elites means they are becoming more corrupt. In December of 2018, foreign holdings of local debt were up more than 20% on the previous year. And I'm talking about, again, who? Egypt. With this trend set to continue in 2019. In other words, Egypt has a lot of debt right now, and the trend in the increase in the debt will continue even in the year 2019, and obviously with 2020 and 2021 and beyond that. In a report published by the World Bank in April of 2019, it was calculated that some 60% of Egypt's population is either poor or vulnerable. 60%. This is a huge, more than half of the population they are poor. They have no home, they have no job, they have no money in their pocket. And this is all happening right now, as I said. Overall, living conditions, meanwhile, are sliding rapidly. People are becoming poor. So what is happening with Egypt? The government currently allocates 38% of its entire budget merely to pay off the interest on its outstanding debt and loans and installments, and more than 58% is eaten up by who? The military. In other words, Egypt is becoming more and more corrupt. They are incurring more debts. They are not being able to pay it off at all. Rather, it has become a trend. Dear brothers and sisters, August 13, 2021, that happened only a few days ago, an attack killed 8 Egyptian troops in Sinai. 8 soldiers killed in Sinai anti-terrorism operations. An armed uprising spread in northern Sinai after the military overthrew President Morsi in 2013. Okay, this is happening since 2013, and this group, they are gaining momentum every single month. Gas pipeline in Egypt, in Sinai, Sinai was attacked in February last year, 2020, February 3rd. There was a news published. Corruption in the military. We know that Egypt's investment, loan, business, everything is being controlled by the Egyptian military. Now, why am I mentioning all of this, dear brothers and sisters? Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said, when we talk about the end of time sign, right, and we talk about Egypt, why did I mention all of this? Why did I mention all of this? It is because there is a hadith. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said that Iraq will withhold its dirhams and kafis, a measurement of grain. Number 2, Syria will withhold its mud, okay, and dinar. Egypt will withhold its irdab and dinars, and you will return to where you started. You will return to where you started. You will return to where you started. The flesh and blood of Abu Huraira bear witness to that. Wallahi, this hadith, it talks about the end of time. As you can see, this is Egyptian woman. She's presenting Egypt to the world, and she's actually saying how situation have been since Morsi was ousted. Dear brothers and sisters, we are living at a time when we are seeing Egypt will collapse. And this is not what I'm saying, and the evidences that I showed you is not evidences and I made the conclusion. These are evidences, and the conclusion was made by experts. We do not know when Egyptian currency will collapse. This is one of the signs of the end of time. Once we have seen what happened in Iraq, we have seen what happened in Syria. Now it is time for Egypt, that their currency will collapse. I gave you the evidences that they have incurred a lot of debts. They are going, their living standard is going down, it's sliding. Their security system is falling apart. Now Sinai, they see increased attack. They have IMF loan that they're using to run the country. On the other hand, we also have seen how they have used the money, the loan money, to make a parade of these mummies, the pharaonic mummies. I think that happened a few months ago. They wasted all the money instead of giving it to the Egyptian people. They are actually using it for all of this corruption to increase, and they are just creating more fitna and fasad on land. And it is just a matter of time before Egypt will be gone. And even though, dear sisters, we do not want that to happen, but unfortunately the situation in Egypt is really, really bad at the moment. They are struggling. There are a lot of people who are saying we have no job, we have nothing, no money in our pocket. The thing is that, dear my sisters, we need to be aware of what is happening in Egypt. We also know that Egypt is so open with Israel that they don't even care about Gaza anymore. They open border for Israel. They supply actually gas to Israel. On the other hand, they stop the Palestinians to get any supply through Egyptian routes and whatnot. They are acting in such a way that shows their insecurity. That shows how puppet they have become to the Western governments, especially to Israel and US. They are getting a lot of foreign aid from UAE. These countries are propping them up. They're getting a lot of aid from US. In fact, they are the second highest aid receiver from US after Israel. The reason I'm mentioning these points is because, dear sisters, we are indeed going to see some drastic changes in the Middle East. Now we see in Jordan, they have this big problem with the monarch. They are not, they're actually contesting for the position in the monarch for the Jordanian people. Once Jordan is affected, or once Egypt is affected, I mean, one of these countries has to fall. One of them will fall for sure. It is just a matter of time when they will. The hadith that the Prophet has prophesied will come true, and we need to be, dear my sisters, very careful about the situation that we're living in right now. If you're new here, again, consider subscribing, like this video. If you did, share this video. I'll see you soon again. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.